Switzerland has beautiful mountains and lakes, but its government is also really interesting. Think of a country made up of different regions, each with its own special history and traditions. That's Switzerland, a mix of cantons like a puzzle where each piece is important. The government shares power between the central leaders and the cantons. This system has changed over many years, going back and forth between giving more power to the cantons and more power to the central government. Now, it's a careful balance. Switzerland's journey to how it's governed today is a cool story about power, history, and how the cantons wanted to stay independent. It went from separate states to the country it is today, showing how working together and compromise can make a country strong. Before 1798, Switzerland wasn't one country. It was a bunch of independent states, and each one wanted to stay that way. This time was called the Ancien Regime. Each canton had its own laws, courts, and even its own army. There wasn't a strong central government. The cantons worked together only when they had to. They had something like a big meeting called the Tagsatzung. People from each canton would go to this meeting to talk about things like dealing with other countries and protecting themselves. But the cantons didn't have to do what the Tagsatzung decided. The system made the cantons very independent. And that's still a big part of Switzerland today. The French Revolution changed a lot in Europe, including Switzerland. In 1798, Napoleon Bonaparte helped create the Helvetic Republic. This was a huge change. The Helvetic Republic wanted a strong central government like France. They created government offices like ministries to handle things like the army, money, and the legal system. But the Swiss people liked being independent. They didn't like someone telling them what to do, so they resisted the Helvetic Republic, and eventually it failed. After the Helvetic Republic ended in 1803, there was a time called the mediation period. Everyone tried to figure out how to have a strong country, but still let the cantons be independent. Napoleon understood that the Swiss liked their independence. He helped create the Mediation Act, which was kind of a practice run for how Switzerland works today. The Mediation Act gave the cantons back some of their power, but also kept some things controlled by the central government. They made a small central government to handle things like talking to other countries, the army, and how the cantons worked together. This time helped Switzerland become more unified. It started to feel like one country, but the cantons still had their independence, which was important to them.